Tell me if this has happened to you. Your partner said or did something that upset you, and you wanted to address it. So you bring it up. Hey, you were 30 minutes late to pick me up. Or, you said something in front of our friends that really embarrassed me. And instead of just saying, you're right, I'm sorry, your partner argues the point. Whether they actually said it, whether they were entitled to say it, whether you even get to feel upset about it. And suddenly, you're locked in this rapid start argument that doesn't even feel connected to your original concern anymore. And it definitely doesn't feel like you're being heard. Has this happened to you before? Even when we mean well, there are ways we can bring up concerns that just fan the flames of conflict. We're not trying to be mean or aggressive with our partner, but they interpret it that way, and we're often running again. If you're frustrated with this pattern, I'm here to give you a really effective way of avoiding it. In my work as a couples therapist for over 10 years, I've developed one simple communication rule that helps. And when you follow this rule, it undercuts conflict and helps build security and connection in the relationship. You actually get your needs met because your concerns are being heard and can be acted on. In this video, I'm going to show you the critical mistake we make, even when we're not trying to stir things up, and give you that one rule that helps you avoid it. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here's the problem. It's natural to address concerns directly. What was the thing you didn't like, and who did it? While the first thing may vary, the second one is your partner. We default to two basic statements. You said, and you did. It only makes sense, right? You want to be direct and clear with your partner so they can understand and adapt. Unfortunately, this approach has two complications. First, your partner is likely to hear this as an attack. They're being criticized for something they did. And when we're under attack, details don't matter. When we're attacked, we defend, we counterattack. It's human nature. Literally, the brain is wired this way. The logical part of your brain that processes the content of a complaint is about 10 times slower than the threat-oriented part. So even if your partner wants to hear you and adapt, when they perceive an attack, you both lost that race before it began. The second complication, when you frame things as you said this or you did that, there's always something to argue about. Especially under stress, you have to realize facts are not facts. What we think are facts are really unreliable memories of our perception of what happened. Research on memory shows us that when we're stressed or frustrated, we don't write things into our memory banks accurately. And when we try to recall them under that same stress, we don't recall them accurately either. Plus, we all have our own perspectives. Our own understanding is filtered through our mindset at the time, past experiences, and our values. So remember, when it comes to disagreeing with our partners, facts are not facts. Facts are perceptions. This is the raw material for turning a small misunderstanding into a big blow-up. When we start with you said you did, we immediately paint ourselves into a corner where the only way out is through another fight. We need another way, one that allows us to state our concerns in a way that fosters being heard and gets our needs met, not just one that creates more conflict. So after over a decade of helping couples reduce conflict and build connection, I developed this one rule that helps. It's in two parts. First, ask, don't tell. When you want to be heard with open ears, foster empathy, and give your partner an opportunity to support your needs, don't lead with accusations. Lead with curiosity. I'll show you exactly what this looks like here in a minute. The second part of the rule is if you do tell about your feelings and your needs, not the specific way your partner has just failed you. So ask, don't tell, and if you do tell about your feelings and needs. This becomes a powerful tool for connecting at the level of what's really going on, instead of wasting time arguing about things that are some combination of irrelevant and untrue. Let's take a practical example. Your partner makes a sarcastic remark that hurts your feelings. You may want to say something like, you're such a jerk. You said the same thing in front of our friends yesterday, and it was really embarrassing. You don't respect me at all. You actually hit the trifecta there. You said, you did, and the one that really tips the scales, you are. When confronted with such powerful accusations, nobody would be inclined to respond with kindness or an apology. Most of us would push back in any number of ways. What if we could state our case in a way that cultivates understanding and empathy instead of pushback? Using our rule, it might sound something like this. Ask, don't tell. Do you really feel so strongly about this? Or is there another way you could talk to me about it? And when you tell about your feelings and needs. That hurt my feelings. I'm sensitive to sarcasm. Now, let's just flip those around just for smoothness of flow. Hey, that hurt my feelings. We've talked about how I have a sensitivity to sarcasm. Do you really feel that strongly about this, or is there another way you'd be willing to talk about it? When we lead with curiosity and discussing our own emotions, we slow things down. We cultivate empathy and understanding. Now you may be thinking, Chris, why do I have to soften this so much? Shouldn't I just be able to say it and be heard? Let me reassure you. With this rule, you still get to state your concern, and you get to ask for an adjustment. What may feel like a soft-serve approach ends up actually being far more productive and efficient. Don't forget that you said you did usually doesn't lead anywhere productive. You detour through another argument only to feel unfulfilled all over again. That's not productive or efficient. Plus, it gives you a headache and puts more stress on your relationship. When you start with your feelings and needs, it promotes empathy and curiosity, both of which help your relationship. Now, you get 3 big wins from this approach. First, it cuts conflict out at the knees. When you talk about your feelings and your needs, there's nothing to argue about. Those are inarguable. Nobody gets to say what your needs are and how you feel when they're not being met. When we start by talking about something important and inarguable, you avoid throwing out the accusations that cause your partner to dig their heels in. Second, it promotes connection. It invites your partner to lean into all the love and empathy they have for you, the positive emotions that probably brought you together in the first place. The connection that grows out of empathy and compassion is the kryptonite of conflict. Third, it circumvents the natural fight or flight response that comes when we're attacked. Whether the accusations are accurate or not doesn't matter at that point. We naturally push back when we feel attacked. This method works because it leans into the natural strengths in your relationship while stepping around the most common triggers. And if you want to go deeper, I'm putting together a full course that breaks down exactly how to handle the toughest relationship conversations. I'm opening the waitlist soon, and the link is in the description below if you want early access. This method takes practice, and it can feel cumbersome at first, but it's worth pushing through to become a pro at leading with curiosity and emotion. You'll be surprised how powerful it can be in avoiding conflict and getting your needs met. It feels weird because it goes against our natural instincts, but that's exactly why it's such a powerful tool. Friends, if this was helpful to you, hit that like button so more couples can find this video. And if you want more tools like this to strengthen your relationship, also subscribe. I post new videos every week. Thanks for being here, and until next time, be well.